What's good? What's good? What's good, baby? Welcome to the NBS show. Of course, I'm your host, True X, the Sports Junkie, and I got the homie in the building. Oh God, he got that hat on again. Here we go. What up, yo?
Yo, what's good, bro? I know we're kind of late today, but we here, man. NBS show, man. Definitely a lot to talk about in sports today.
Big facts, man. His Cowboys won over the weekend, so he's excited. He's all excited about what Tony P did. I
Um,
understand. I
yes, I
understand.
mean, your Saints won. I was definitely wrong about the Raiders.
Oh God, I was wrong about that too, man. Oh my God, but
Mhm.
we are here, baby. So with that being said, Keo, let's get to these topics because we got some good ones.
Yeah, man. We got NFL, college football, some NBA. Um, But we're gonna start things off with the NFL, man. Let's give our winners and losers.
Oh man, the winner to me. Um, and it's really not no surprise. I think. Well, you know what? I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna start with my loser. I'm gonna start out with my loser because my winner to me is kind of it is what it is. But I'm gonna go in a different direction than you. I know I will, and I gotta go with the Carolina Panthers. And I know y'all gonna be like, "Man, X, what are you talking about?"
Yeah,
Oh,
what you talking about?
I'm gonna tell you why. The Panthers had a chance to beat the Falcons in that game, and the entire division's under 500. But the Atlanta Falcons are now 4-4. And what happened? They're down in Atlanta, and they have a desperation Hail Mary. They throw a Hail Mary up. DJ Moore comes down with it. He catches the ball. They tie the game. All they got to do is hit the extra point, and guess what? They are there. They are the division leaders, I believe. And you know what happens? They missed the extra point. That can't happen. I'm gonna say that my losers for the week because that can't happen. And shout out to Mike Devontae Foreman. He did his thing, man.
Yeah, I definitely forgot about Foreman. Uh, he was definitely a huge surprise for me. I'm gonna start off with my losers, bro.
Yeah, so I
The
didn't say my winner,
Cincy
so go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the Cincinnati Bengals are my losers, bro.
Oh God.
Man, Cincinnati Bengals. I thought this was gonna be a blowout. I thought this was gonna be like a game that nobody expect nobody expected from this game. And who would have thought, man, that the Cleveland Browns, led by Jacoby Brissett, man, ends up beating the Cincinnati Bengals, man. The Bengals has definitely been struggling this year, man. And that's a team that I am definitely worried about, man. And I don't know what I don't know what is going on with this team. Maybe it was Halloween. I don't know, man. But they are the. uh, You know what's crazy, man? I don't know. People may know this, but the Bengals are 0-4 in Halloween games since 2000.
Wow.
Um, um, and but the Browns are 0-1, but the Browns end up beating them. So I know without Jamar, Chase definitely had a huge effect on them. But Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, those guys definitely showed up, and this offense definitely doesn't look the same from what we saw from the previous year, man. So I definitely got the Bengals as my losers. They were heavy favorites, automatic winners. We had our NBS picks, including with Vodafly. Also, nobody picked the Cleveland Browns to win this game.
That's a fact.
Everybody had the Bengals winning, including myself and X. But Hey, man. So I mean,
And
those
I'm
are
not. I get what you're saying. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But come on, man. And shout out to my guy, man. He just hit me up. He said that the Panthers wouldn't have been the leaders in the division. There, he's right. But everybody would have been three wins. All the entire division would have been at a standstill with 3 wins, and that's what I was ultimately saying with the Panthers. They had a chance. But the Bengals, man, they've beaten some good teams this entire year, and then lose to teams that just make you scratch your head and like, what's going on? So we're seeing this with the Bengals. They've been up and down throughout this season, even with Jamar Chase. But
yeah.
but I'm gonna give you my winner, and that's why I wanted to wait to give this. What's up, Bottle Fly? You got me looking crazy out here in these streets. Keo got me looking crazy. I know Keo's excited about this one. But my biggest winner is the Seattle Seahawks. What do? When I picked the Giants, I finally picked the Giants to win a game. The Seahawks have a chance to keep their lead in their division, but they have to take on the Giants. Only one loss to the Cowboys this season. And what do? They shut down Daniel Jones. I'm not calling him Danny Dimes right now. You just lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith and company, I got to give them their flowers right now. They're leading the NFC West. They just knocked off the Giants. I'm going to say they're my biggest winner right now.
My biggest winner, my biggest winner will be the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, God.
Who would have thought the Saints would have won this game, man? With the drama behind Alvin Kamara, and guess what? The trade deadline's done, and he did not get traded. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Alvin Kamara didn't get traded, and Alvin Kamara actually had a solid game, man. He was actually nominated for NBS Player of the Week, which we will announce who wins it later. I mean, tomorrow actually. Um, and they play a solid game, man, and they shut out the Las Vegas Raiders, bro. I was definitely wrong about the Raiders. I thought I had me, an idiot, had Derek Carr as the stud of the week. Wrong about that. Um, but the Saints, they played a very solid game, man. From the offense, the play selection, the way they ran the ball, um, and and the man that was the best player in the game was Alvin Kamara, man.
Thanks.
Um, from running the ball, from receiving the ball, led the team in receiving also. He definitely played a solid game, and with the injuries that this team had to deal with, and people picked against them, even their own Saints fans also. So, man, I like the Saints as my winners, man, and Saints ain't done yet, man. So I like what I see from the Saints right now. So I definitely got them as my winners.
Okay, I ain't mad at that, man.
Okay, now let's go to after 8 weeks of football. It's time for the power rankings, man.
Ooh, I'm about to make a lot of people mad right now. And look, this is my power rankings. The way I see it. Not the way you see it, Keo. Not the way Bumpy sees it or Vada sees it or Q sees it. This is the way X sees it. Coming in at number 5, baby, I got the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I know they only have one loss. I understand that. They just beat the Cardinals with DeAndre Hopkins. That's kudos to them. They are in my Power 5 rankings. The Vikings have been a good team this season, so I'm going to have them at number 5. Here's the tricky one that nobody's probably expecting. Coming in at number 4. Yes, I said it. 4 is a team that the Minnesota Vikings actually beat. And no, it's not. I know the Minnesota Vikings didn't beat them, but no, it's not the Cowboys, Keo, so you can forget about it. And no, it's not the Giants, so you can forget about it, Vada. I got the Miami Dolphins coming in at number 4. And y'all may ask yourself, hey, how? How can you have the Miami Dolphins at 4 on your list? So real quick before, because I gotta give the Dolphins they flowers right now. All right, they have 3 losses. They're 5-3. I know they're 5-3, but they're 5-0 with Tua Tagovailoa as their quarterback. When Tua plays, they are 5-0 with wins over the Patriots, who's 500, the Ravens, who lead their division, and oh my, the Buffalo Bills. They beat Buffalo with Tua. So I got them at 4. And if you want to bring up the Viking game, Tua didn't play in that game, and they barely beat the Dolphins. Matter of fact, the Dolphins had 3 turnovers, 10 penalties for 97 yards, while the Vikings didn't turn the ball over and only had 2 penalties for 20 yards. And guess what? They barely beat them by 8 points in that game. So without Tua, the Vikings almost lost that game. With Tua, I think they're gonna beat the Vikings. You talking about Jalen Waddle? You're talking about Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, and they just added Bradley Chubb. We'll get to that in a second, though. We'll get to that in a second, Keo. They coming in number 4. Number 3 to 1, it's pretty much the same. I got the Eagles at 3. AJ Brown had the big game. We understand that. He was out there making cornerbacks look like babies out there. I got them at 3. At number 2, despite them being on their bye, they're still the highest scoring team in the league, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. And at number 1, once again, they flexed their muscles. They didn't play great, but they still pretty much handled the Packers like it was nothing. The Buffalo Bills, just a real quick as far as data is concerned, there's only 5 teams in the NFL that have scored 200 points this year. Buffalo's in that 5. There's only 1 team that hasn't given up 100 points this season, and that's the Buffalo Bills. That just goes to show you how good they are. So I got Buffalo at number 1.
Well, mine is different also. Starting at number 5, I got the Minnesota Vikings, 6-1 record. 5 of their victories have been one possession games. They have some notable wins though. But they've been dominating for the most part, man. Just led by and their players been staying healthy. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, um, Dalvin Cook, and then you added T.J. Hawkinson into the trade, man. This team kind of looks kind of vicious right now. Number 4, man, back in it, baby. I got the Dallas
Oh God!
Cowboys at number 4, man. This defense has been the story of 8 games, man. And it was not because of Cooper Rush, man. I've been crediting this defense for a minute now. The opponents averaging only 16 a game.
They gave up
Run
29 this past week.
I'm just saying average throughout the 8 games. But the run defense has been very solid as of late. The offense is trending in the right direction. Obviously, I don't know who thought there was quarterback controversy because obviously the team is definitely better with Dak Prescott. Um, I don't know who was hyping up Cooper Rush on the NBS show. Definitely wasn't me.
It's you.
Um, but the Cowboys definitely shown they can run the ball. No Zeke in this game. Tony Pollard was solid, 131 yards, 14 carries, 3 touchdowns. Man, passing game was on point. With CD Lamb. Um, I like the Dallas Cowboys, man. Definitely like the Dallas Cowboys at 4. Coming at 3, I'm rolling with the Philadelphia Eagles at 3, though, man. Um, I'm just I'm sold on them making the playoffs, even winning division, but not as a Super Bowl contender, man. I just think they're a number three type of team. Coming at number two, I got the Kansas City Chiefs, despite being on a bye, and at number one, man, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, man. Right now, they're playing like the best team in the league right now. Josh Allen, MVP candidate. Von Miller has made an impact on that defense. So, number one, Buffalo Bills, and those are my Power Five rankings.
All right, all right. I ain't mad at you. I had the Cowboys at 6, so it ain't that bad.
And okay, so let's talk about what everybody's talking about right now, man. It's the NFL trade deadline is over, man. What trade stood out to you the most? What trade definitely helped a team out?
The rich got rich of the Dolphins. I just mentioned it. Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. Are you kidding me? Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. They add to what they already have. Offensively, they can beat anybody. Defensively, they've shown they held Buffalo pretty much in check. And then you add a guy like Jeff Wilson. You get rid of Edwards. Yeah, no. Who they got rid of? I forgot. I want to lie. Who they got rid of? I'm tripping right now. Chase Edmonds. I was trying to think of his name. Chase Edmonds. Bring in Jeff Wilson to back up Mostert, or even play, as a committee, Mostert and Jeff Wilson. But I really like the Bradley Chubb move. That was the big one for me that got them over the top. I think they're the biggest winners in this trade deadline as far as NFL is concerned.
Um, the team that definitely made an impact for me. I'm not talking about for right now, but moving forward, the way I see things right now, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, man.
I like it. I like it. I like
They
it.
um man, they got themselves a number one draft pick with Trevor Lawrence, and then they go and traded a guy is definitely that could be a Pro Bowler anytime he hits the field, and that's Calvin Ridley, man. I definitely like this pick. And they didn't lose much by getting Calvin Ridley, man. So I definitely like this trade for Calvin Ridley. So I think this definitely helped this team. I like the Chase Claypool trade because obviously there's no go-to wide receivers on that team for Chicago. Definitely helped Justin Fields out. The only thing they lose is a second round draft pick, so I like that Claypool trade also. Um, what teams are you disappointed of that didn't make any moves?
The Rams. I thought the Rams should have traded for whether that's Alvin Kamara, whether that's Kareem Hunt, whether that's whatever running back you want to name, throw out there. The Rams should have made a move for a running back, in my opinion. Somebody that can be that running back that can take some pressure off of Matthew Stafford and Cooper Cup. Right now, I don't think Henderson's that guy. I don't think Malcolm Brown's that guy. Cam Akers is clearly not wanted over there right now. And they didn't even trade, they didn't even get rid of him and send him somewhere. So it was just mind-boggling to me. They came off of a bye this past week, and what happened? They lost to the 49ers again. Christian McCaffrey had a great game. It's like the Niners got better. The Seahawks are playing good. The Cardinals just got DeAndre Hopkins back, and he looks like the same old D-Hop, a superstar. And it's like the Rams just stayed pat for whatever reason. And right now, if I'm in LA, yeah, I know you got the Super Bowl last year, but you gotta make you should have made a move. If that means going out there and going getting Odell Beckham, maybe that's the move. But you had a chance to get a running back, and Kareem Hunt was interested in getting out of Cleveland. That should have been the move, in my opinion, that they should have made. But I'm not the GM of the Rams, so they're my biggest loser. If we're talking about losing,
Man, it's the Green Bay Packers, bro. Come on, bro. Like, really, man? You've been, you don't want to draft. a wide receiver in the NFL draft throughout the past 3 seasons. You obviously this was your opportunity. You lose Devontae Adams. You knew how much it was hurting your offense, and they didn't do a damn thing about it. Like, come on, Brandon Cooks, man. Brandon Cooks was the talk of the deadline, man. Like, why couldn't they get Chase Claypool, bro? Like, what? Like, you seen Kadarius Tony getting moved to the Chiefs definitely helped their team. You seen Claypool getting moved. You seen Calvin Ridley getting moved. Like, Brandon Cooks was definitely a talk um during the deadline, and Cooks would have helped any team out because he's a very good wide receiver, just plays on a bad team, man, and that definitely would have helped this team out. Um, I know that the Giants said they would consider getting Odell Beckham after the deadline, and I would expect them to make a move for a receiver after losing Tony, and they coming off of a loss. Like, teams like the Giants, the Rams, the Packers, I just thought they would have gotten it. But from what I know, during the deadline, the Cowboys and the Texans, they were very close of
Mm-hmm.
moving Brandon Cooks, but by the time anything could be agreed upon, the deadline already hit zero, so it was a little bit too late for that. So that's what my thoughts on the trade deadline.
Okay, not mad at that.
All right, man. So let's go to our next topic for today, and we are gonna talk about um the Green Bay Packers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what do you make of the Green Bay Packers now, man? Is this a wrap for them? Is this done for them?
I don't think it's a wrap. I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now. There's only 5 teams above 500. Above. I'm not saying 500, but above 500 in the NFC. They're one of the teams that's below it. If they sign Odell Beckham tomorrow, we're gonna have a different conversation. So they're not out of it. They're not completely out of it. They're young receivers like Dobbs and Lazard. They need to take that next step. We understand that. They have a good little running back duo in the backfield. They're not done, but I don't know if I would consider them a contender to win the Super Bowl today. If they maybe make a deal for Odell and Odell comes in and he's looking like Odell, then maybe you sit there and say, okay, they're back to being contenders. Right now, it's not time to press the panic button as far as their season. I still think they have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they do have a chance to make the playoffs, but as far as like a contender, like, hell no. Far from it, man. Like, it definitely shows how much this team is hurt by losing Devontae Adams, and they, when Adams left, they obviously they had a plan, they had a formula, and that was to do what the Niners did, was run the ball, but they couldn't even do that, and the defense hasn't has been doing their job also. So it's not just Aaron Rodgers and the wide receivers. There's a couple of things in play when it comes to it. So I definitely do not think that they're done. I think they can make the playoffs. Shoot, I'll even go as far as I think they still have a shot to win the division. I think Minnesota is the type of team that they'll get hot, but towards the end of the season they'll go on that little losing streak where they just hit that bump. So I think the Packers do have a shot, but they got to start winning some games if they have want any shot at all.
Okay, okay.
All right. So let's move on over to our very next topic for tonight, man. And The Philadelphia Eagles, bro, undefeated, 7-0, looking pretty good right now. Eagles fans out there, man. So, when do you see the Eagles losing their first game? Because they got a really favorable schedule throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule and I was saying to myself, man, oh, bro, they got an easy schedule, but it's so hard to go undefeated. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, what could be the game that can catch them up? Um, don't sleep on the Packers. I know you may say yourself the Packers are not beating the Eagles based on what we see. I think the Colts could be a dangerous game. If you remember, the Colts upset the Chiefs earlier this year. And that game's in Indy. So if they get past those two, I'm interested. I'm very interested in this game. Is the Titans versus the Eagles. AJ Brown gets to play against his own team. That's the one to me because Derrick Henry, who was my stud of the week, by the way, let's put that out there, Keel. Let's say it. And you was right. You got stud of the week right this week. Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry and those boys have something to prove, and they proved me wrong so far. They've only lost 2 games this season. Nobody's really talking about them in their Power 5 rankings. Malik Willis got to start this past week because Tannehill was ill. But I think that could be the one that can get the Eagles. If I had to put my money down, I'd to the Titans.
Wow, you actually giving the Titans credit.
Hey man, I was wrong about
them. After all that nonsense you were saying about
you could have said the Cowboys. We already
know. Hell yeah, I'm gonna say the Cowboys. You kidding me? They got lucky, bro. They slipped by, man. And we didn't have no Dak Prescott, by the way. So and this time we get them back in Dallas. So we definitely have the Eagles number. And I think if I had to say if it's the game that we lose, if it's a game that they lose to, I am gonna say the Dallas Cowboys, man. I think the Dallas Cowboys definitely have the best shot to beat them. So obviously it's not gonna be the Commanders. It's not gonna be the Texans next week. I mean, or this upcoming week. Yeah, man. I'm going with the I'm going with the Cowboys, man. I think the Cowboys definitely have a best chance. But if it wasn't the Cowboys, I would say the Colts because they get them in Indianapolis, though. So, but the Eagles haven't been so good themselves. So,
okay.
All right. So, it's that time this week. We go to our NFL picks. Obviously, Vodafly did send his picks, man, and let's see. Let's start off with our very first game of today, and we're gonna kick things off with the Bills versus the Jets.
Butterflies, will you give it first, or you want me to go first?
Go first as I pull his picks up.
Well, come on, man. I got the Bills, man. What are we doing, man? They're the best team in football. They're the most complete team in football. We didn't even mention them as far as the trade deadline. They actually added Naheem Hines, who I think is a good pickup for them because I feel like they feel like they can trust him in the passing game more than they can trust James Cook. So
I already know what it is, man. Salute to NBS Central, man.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, you got it. I got Buffalo. Easy.
Okay. All right. Give me a second. All right. Let's go to Vodafly before I go to my pick.
It's your boy Vodafly. Tell your mama I said hi. NFL picks week 8 of the schedule. Salute to everybody who watches this content. Make sure you subscribe to this channel also. You got Bills versus Jets. The Jets are coming off of a loss to the New England Patriots. That's a surprising loss, too. You would have thought that at this point, the Jets would be able to get past the Patriots. But Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson. I got the Bills winning this game pretty clearly. They might clear the Jets like 31-14 or something like that. It could get a little ugly. Seahawks.
All right, man. So with my pick that I have, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills also. I think the Jets, I think it's that time where they end up start losing games now. Um I'm sorry, bro. That's what you are. You are what you are, and it's the New York Jets. So that's what I have. Okay, then that very next game, we'll go to Vodafly first, and we'll go with the Seahawks against the Cardinals. Let's go.
Versus the Cardinals. Seahawks are just coming off of a win versus the New York Giants. Richie James, I hope you're in Russia. I hope they sent you with 3 vape pens and a pound. I hope we never see you again in the Giants uniform. 2 fumbles on 2 punt returns. Yeah, we can get you the fuck out of here. Straight up. Cardinals didn't do that great this weekend. Seahawks won versus the Giants. I actually have the Seahawks winning that game. It'll be a close one, though. I'm going to go with 24-21 Seahawks. Rams versus the Bucs.
All right.
No, I gotta disagree with Votto on this one. I got the Cardinals, man. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a problem. Yes, I know they lost this past week to the Vikings, but I'm going with the Cards to pull the upset.
I'm going with the Cardinals also, man.
Wow.
DeAndre Hopkins has been balling these last 2 games, man. Kyler's been going to him a lot, man. And the Vikings barely escaped, man. I think the more you give Hopkins and Kyler, I think this team will be solid. So I'm going with I'm definitely going with the Cardinals over the Seahawks. All right, let's go to the next game, man. And we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the LA Rams. This game will be in Tampa Bay. First, let's go to Vodafly, see what he has.
Now, while I would have picked the Rams, I just seen the Rams had an injury to Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford only knows how to throw to one person, and the Bucs are coming off of a loss too. But without Cooper Kupp, I mean Cooper. Yeah, I don't think that they can put up the points to beat the Bucs. Titans versus the Chiefs. I don't see.
All right.
No, I disagree with him. I disagree with him on this one again. Cooper Kupp is gonna play. They're saying he's fine. It's not a serious injury. I still got the Rams. I just think the Rams are a better team. I know they lost this past week to the Niners. The Niners are a good team, and we've talked about them in our Power 5 rankings. The Bucs just don't look good, man. Let's just call it what it is. I know we're trying to wait to see. We know Tom Brady is the GOAT. We understand all that. But at some point in time, for the time, it steps up and it comes in. And it comes into play. And for the time is undefeated, right? That's what they say. So I'm going with the Rams in this one. I think they shake back. They beat the Bucs.
I'm going with the Bucs in this game, man.
Wow.
Tampa Bay. I don't know what the hell's going on with Tom Brady, man. You got your weapons there, man. You got Leonard Fournette running the ball. I don't know. Maybe it's the new coach, man. But I like Tampa Bay over the Rams. The Rams. I just feel like they're gonna take another L in this game, man. So I definitely got Tampa Bay. All right, let's go to our next game, and we got the Titans versus the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night.
The Chiefs losing really in a game like this. I got the Chiefs winning. Raiders versus the Saints.
All right.
Yeah. He got this one right, though. I got the Chiefs. No disrespect to the Titans. The Titans can beat them. Based on the way that the style of play, the Titans are physical. They're going to run the football. They're going to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. The Titans have done well against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid teams. So even though I got the Chiefs winning this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer than we expect.
So the game that we have next is the Ravens and the Saints, but I made a mistake, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go.
The Raiders are not playing the Saints this week, KO, but you know what? I do my due diligence. The Raiders play against the Jaguars. They actually just lost 24-0 against the Saints this week. So with that being said, you did send me the wrong one, but it's all good. I do my homework. I have the Jaguars beating the Raiders. The Raiders are a shitty committee this year. They can't score against anybody. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Last but not least, Tennessee.
Okay, you didn't pick the last game though. You were so concerned with not still in the right game. Who you got in the last one?
Oh, the Chiefs. The Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. Okay, sorry about that. I got the Chiefs beating the Titans. Titans, they've been solid so far, but they're going against the Kansas City Chiefs, the highest scoring team in the league, and I don't know. You are an Arrowhead, man. That's what it is. You are an Arrowhead. You're playing where the Chiefs are at, and they're gonna score at a high volume, and I don't think they could keep up with Kansas City.
Okay. As far as the game that you just said, you said he did the Jaguars versus the Raiders, right? Or which one are we picking?
The Ravens and the Saints.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure I was getting this right. I got the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. No, I got Baltimore. It's no disrespect, it is what it is, but I got the Ravens. I mean, I'm going for the Saints. I hope the Saints win, but I'm going with Baltimore. Let's stop playing. And if you want me to pick the other one too, I got the Raiders. Vonna's gonna be wrong on that one as well. The Raiders will beat the Jaguars.
Next game I got the game. Okay, the Ravens and the Saints.
Look at you. Oh God.
I got the New Orleans Saints, bro. I think they're gonna get on this little winning streak, man. The Saints have a way of doing it, man. Like when you don't expect them to win, they end up winning. I like the Saints in this game, man, against the Ravens, and I do think that the Raiders have a better offense. I mean, the Raiders have a better offense than the Ravens, but one thing the Raiders don't have is Lamar Jackson. But I do the Saints will find a way to contain him and force him to throw the ball, which he'll have a harder time doing against the Saints. So I got the New Orleans Saints. Okay, so we'll be back with Fly later as we gonna be picking the college football game of the week 1 against 2. So with that with that being said, man, let's go to college football. That's it for our NFL. Let's go to our winners and losers in college football this past week.
I can't wait to say this. You know what my loser was? I'm not gonna blame the team. I'm not gonna say Oklahoma State. I'm gonna say you and the rest of the NBS crew, because I was the only one to pick K-State to beat Oklahoma State on the entire NBS panel. All of them had Oklahoma State. I tried to tell y'all Kansas State was going to win that game, and they didn't just win. They won 48-0. They goose-egged Oklahoma State. Y'all my biggest losers for picking Oklahoma State. I don't know what y'all was thinking about out there in Cali and in Vegas where Mike's from, and DC where Jasper's from, and C should be ashamed of himself because he's in Louisiana. Y'all all was just crazy. I don't know what y'all was thinking. As far as my biggest winner, I mean everything else was pretty much predictable. I'll say biggest winner, Ohio State, because they went on the road and beat Penn State, and they kept their championship aspirations alive. But that wasn't no surprise to me. There wasn't no game that I was just shocked by. I'm not gonna say K-State because K-State I expected to win that game. So I'm gonna say Ohio State because they're gonna have pressure every week in order to get to the playoff. So they're gonna have to win, and they won convincingly in my mind against Penn State.
Okay, I guess I gotta go to my loser. It's no surprise, man. I'm not gonna. There's no way that you could definitely spin this at all, man. It is Oklahoma. They are flat out losers to me. Getting embarrassed like that. Oh man, they got annihilated. They got beat down bad, man. 48-0, man. I thought I was watching Texas Oklahoma all over again, man. Um um and they got beat by a backup quarterback, man. Dude had like 4 touchdowns. Running game was amazing, man. Deuce Vaughn, man. Had like 176 like all-purpose yards, and
Mm-hmm.
this team, man, and Oklahoma State. They are. If we did contenders and pretenders, they're always pretenders. They're pretenders every single year, man. They get up in these rankings every year. They think that they're gonna. They try to sell you something, but obviously they break your hearts and dreams, man. So I definitely have them as my losers. But my winner, I'm going a different route, bro. I definitely been paying attention to this guy because I'm definitely tapped in when it comes to the NFL draft, but I'm going with Drake May and North Carolina, man. We'll talk about Heisman later. I know it's a long shot, but if you want to talk about somebody a dark horse, this is Drake May, man. He definitely been playing some great football. Threw for 388, had 5 touchdowns, rushed for over I think close to 60 yards, and they win 42-24 against Pitt, man. Um, he's a first year starter, man. Already passed over 3,000 yards, has 32 touchdowns in just 8 games. Um, North Carolina, they're 7-1 right now, and the only obstacle that they have in the ACC is against Clemson. In the meanwhile, man, I'm definitely gonna give Drake May his flowers for right now. So, those are my winners and losers.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit because the rankings for the college football playoffs just comes out came out for the first time this season.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on it from what you've seen so far for the first time
I
this
mean, like
season?
I always tell you, every time we do this topic early on, it's early. You got 1 versus 2 this week. You got 6 versus 15 this week. You got a lot that's gonna change from now until then. You got championship week. So pump the brakes. It's good for right now. How they got it right now, I have no issue with the top 4 teams as of today. They got it right for right now. But it's a lot of football left, Keo. A lot of football left. And I'm excited about this week. Whoo, they got some good matchups.
Yeah, they definitely do. Um, I think uh, what stands out to me is the damn SEC. That's what stands out to me. You got Tennessee, no surprise, along with Georgia. Alabama's in there. You got LSU in there. Mississippi, Ole Miss is in there. Like, it's definitely heavily dominated by the SEC, man, and that's the one thing that I definitely do see. Um, yeah, so that the biggest thing that really stands out to me. Also, I mean, a team that definitely hurts them is Clemson, and the ACC. Um, I do think if things go the way it goes, I think Clemson would be hurt by it, but I think Clemson do need help. They don't need a lot of help. They need some help to definitely give them any type of chances at all. So That's what I see from the college football playoffs so far this season. Michigan, um, Michigan up in there to also a team, because you look at the top six right now. You got what? You got Tennessee, Georgia, and you got Alabama in there, and then you got what? Michigan. You got
Yep.
Michigan in there also. I think Michigan and Ohio State, that one. I think the winner of that game will determine who gets into the playoffs. I think whoever loses that, it could be a good possibility that they get eliminated, because if if one of those teams loses and um, Clemson runs the table, Clemson is definitely clearly in there. But a team like somewhere from the Pac-12 could definitely jump in also. So that I think that's interesting to pay attention to, and it's always exciting to talk about that when now we're talking about playoff time. So yeah. All right, so let's talk about Heisman, man. So I know Heisman is definitely 1 and 2 right now, but your top five guys right now on the Heisman list right now, who are
I,
they?
I'm gonna go from 1 to 5 because I feel like 1 and 2 is pretty much a given. I think that we all gonna. I mean, for the most part, everybody's gonna agree on the first two guys. My number one guy, as of today, I'm not talking about who I think is the best player in the country. I'm saying off of the resume that I've seen so far, I'm going Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, knocking off at Alabama in the fashion he did. I'm going to go with him at number one. Number two be CJ Stroud, who I actually think should win the Heisman because I think he's the best player in the country. But it's between them two right now. Coming in at number three, I'm going with Bryce Young. I know a lot of people might, be upset, but he played well against Tennessee. Tennessee's the number two team in the country. There's no shame in that. I'm going Bryce Young. Number four is going to be, I'm going to say 4 and 5. We may see these two guys and dare I said a Pac-12 championship game. Oh, and I know Kio's like,
What?
scratching his head right now. Mike's probably like, what are you talking about, X? I'm going Caleb Williams at 4 and at 5. Surprisingly, I got Bo Nix. Now, y'all may sit there and say to yourself, are you crazy, X? You just saying that because that was your dark horse before the season started. But here's a fun fact about Oregon. Oregon lost opening week to the number one team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs. You know what's happened since that opening week, Keo? You want me to give you a fun fact?
What?
Oregon has won every game, and they have scored over 40 points in every single game since week 1. No team has held Oregon under 41 points since opening week when they lost to the number one team in the country. And you know who's been balling? Bo Nix. I got Bo Nix at number 5 with Caleb Williams at number 4. You can interchange them, but I think Bo Nix could creep up into there. He got a game against Utah coming up, a game against Oregon State, and like I said, if he gets to play against Caleb Williams at USC and wins the Pac-12 championship, we have to look at that and say to ourselves, my God, I don't think he'll win the Heisman because he got annihilated by Georgia and didn't do anything. But nonetheless, he has been on an impressive run. I got Bo Nix at 5.
Um, I Bo Nick's stock is going up, but I don't have him in my top five. I like what I seen from Bo Nix. He definitely has changed from the player he was at Auburn. The bad news about Bo Nix is that he did throw for 2 interceptions against Cal, but the good news is nobody cared one bit about it. Dude lit it up, man. Over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, added a touchdown on the ground. Like, he's actually passing the ball, man.
Yes.
Like, as Bo Nix, as a guy that runs that spread and runs the option, and not known for passing the ball, but he's passing the ball. That's what I like from Bo Nix. But coming in at number 5 for me, I'm going with Bryce Young, man. Bryce Young. They didn't play this past week, but they get a huge game in Death Valley, man, against LSU. So we'll see what happens in that game. Coming at number 4 for me, I got Caleb Williams. He did get his first loss of the season against Utah, high scoring game. Caleb Williams do have the numbers to support it though. Um, Definitely great year for him also, but I think he's looking for that Heisman in the moment, and we haven't gotten it yet. So I got him at number 4. Number 3 for me, man. I'm going with running back Blake Corum, man, at number 3 for me. I think he's been why Michigan one of the reasons why Michigan has been winning, man. They definitely had a solid running game, and he's Corum has rushed past over 1,000 mark on the season already, and Michigan's undefeated. Number 2 and 1, obviously. 2, I have Hendon Hooker despite beating Alabama. But then at number 1, I got C.J. Stroud, man, and another guy that definitely deserves credit. Like I said, Drake May once again, man. I think he is definitely trending also. Um, and I w- I would and I could make an argument for Stetson Bennett also. Definitely he's been showing out also, but those are my top 5 from the Heisman. But with that being said, let's go to our last topic and the playoffs. SEC. Do you see 3 teams making to the playoffs this year?
No, no. It'll be for sure 2, I think, though. 2 will get in, whether that's a combination of, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama. I can definitely see. I feel like even if Tennessee loses this week or Georgia loses this week, that they're gonna get in. I really believe that. I think that no matter which one of these teams lose, as long as they keep it competitive, we'll get into the playoffs. They won't have to play in the SEC championship game. They probably won't have to play Alabama in the SEC championship game, so that'll be a plus for them. So just because they lose this game doesn't mean they're out of the running. They may drop a little bit, but if they can keep the game close, similar to the Tennessee Alabama game, I think that both of these teams have a great chance of getting into the playoff. The only scary thing is if like a team like LSU was to upset Alabama this week, excuse me, and then Alabama upset a team in the SEC championship game, whether that's Tennessee or Georgia. Now you have chaos because I'm gonna just throw a scenario out there. Let's just say Georgia beats Tennessee, and then Georgia goes to the SEC championship game, and then Alabama beats Georgia. Now you got 3 teams that beat each other, and then you still got a team like Ohio State that may be undefeated. You may have a team like Clemson who may be undefeated. I think that's gonna cause a lot of controversy. A lot of controversy. Do you take the 3 teams that beat up on each other in the toughest division or the toughest conference in college football, or do you take an undefeated Clemson team? I mean, you're gonna take Ohio State if they go undefeated. So it really comes down to that. So I think that it could be chaotic, but we'd have to wait and see, I guess. But I think 2 is gonna get in for sure.
Yeah, I see 2, man. There's no way 3 gets in because teams like Clemson been playing well, and a lot the strength of schedule definitely helps teams also. So I think 2 teams definitely get in. All right, let's make our pick for our game. First we're gonna pick 2 games. So number 6 Alabama versus number 12 LSU. Man, where are we going?
Y'all see the hat? Y'all see the hat? All my Crimson Tide fans out there, Y'all can forget about going to the playoffs this year. This Saturday, baby, the day after my birthday. My birthday's Friday, by the way. The day after my birthday, LSU's going to give me a great gift, baby. And I'm not talking about another degree. I'm talking about the Bayou Bengals upset the Tide in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, baby. Boosie might be there. Webby might be there. Well, hey, you never know. Kevin Gates might be there. I got the Tigers upsetting the Tide, baby. Let's go. Go Tigers. Woo!
Man, as much as it would be a great birthday gift for you, man, it ain't gonna happen, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry to break the news, man. But Alabama, I know it's gonna be a hostile environment. The crowd's gonna be jumping, man. I, LSU's been playing really well this season, man. Brian Kelly has been a huge difference, man. But I think Alabama, both sides of the ball, I think it's going to be a huge difference. The quarterback play is going to be a huge factor in this game, man. And we'll see, but it's going to come down to who's the better quarterback that day. Is it going to be Daniels or is it going to be Bryce Young? And and that's what it comes down to. And I just trust Bryce Young more, man. And I'm going with the Tide in this game.
SMH.
All right, the game of the week, man. It's number 2 versus number 1. Tennessee versus Georgia. Let's go to Vodafly as he gives his predictions.
Versus Georgia, that was probably going to be one of the games of the year. That could literally be the national championship. It could, but it's going to be a close one. I love what Tennessee is able to do, but it's going to be very hard for me to pick against Georgia. Georgia won the national championship last year, and Georgia's still that deal. So we'll see what goes on with it. Other than that, man, salute to every single one of y'all. Make sure y'all tune in for all of the picks, all of the talk, and everything else. Gang.
All right. Who you got?
Man. I understand what the Bulldogs have done. I understand all that. But the Tennessee team reminds me of a team that was really dangerous just in 2019. And that was the LSU Bayou Bengals. Now, listen, you're not going to get a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow. Even though I like what Tennessee has, they definitely have weapons, no doubt about it. But Hypo got them boys playing, man. He got those boys playing. I got Tennessee beating the Georgia Bulldogs and Stinson Bennett. Kirby Smart's going to try to design some defensive schemes to stop this offense. But at the end of the day, man, Hendon Hooker and company, I think they find a way to get it done. I got the Volunteers. Man, T. Martin, Peyton Manning, they're all going to be proud of these guys. What you know about Peerless Price, yo? He might be in the game. I got the Volunteers knocking off the Bulldogs. Tennessee, baby, they're back.
Man, shout out to Arian Foster, man. This game, this is a very interesting game, man. I never seen a matchup like a 1-2 matchup like this. We were used to seeing the 1-2 matchups when it came to Georgia and Alabama, and they happen to play, but they're not 1-2. It's Tennessee and Georgia is 1-2, and I think that's what makes it exciting and interesting. Also, so with that being said, man, I am going with the Tennessee Volunteers to win this game. I think Hendon Hooker is one of the best passers in the league, man. When you talk about Hooker, when you talk about Caleb Williams, when you talk about CJ Stroud, man, I think Hooker belongs in this. He's very efficient, accuracy, number one in total offense, and and no receiver right now is having a better season from Jalen Hyatt, leading the nation with 14 touchdown receptions, man. And the Vault is a huge threat to that secondary, man. And I think it's going to be very tough for that secondary to keep up. Um, um, but Georgia has been good in the secondary, man. Especially they got some premier cornerbacks and safeties over there in Georgia, and they're very physical. But you're dealing with some problems over there in Tennessee, though, man. And the and it's not just Hyatt, man. They got guys like Brew McCoy, Cedric Tillman, man, and
Yup.
coming back from injury, also, man. I know Chris Smith is one of their best premier defenders right now, but I just don't think it's enough, man. It's just too many weapons over there down in Tennessee, man, and I just don't think that secondary could keep up. I think Bennett, he's gonna have to outplay Hendon Hooker, man. I think Hendon Hooker, he's gonna be on a mission. He's gonna be like, yo, this is my field, man. It's our turn, man. Move out the way. And I think this is what it comes down to. And I like Tennessee in this game. Um, and I don't think it's gonna go down to the final possession. I think Tennessee will be up a good amount where it maybe like a 10-point game. I got Tennessee by 10. I like her.
Wow. And
Yeah, I like.
we gotta give our flowers to Josh Heupel, man. He's doing some
Yeah.
things down there in Tennessee, man.
Yeah, and it's good to see Tennessee back, man. So I'll definitely be rooting for Tennessee though, because I like seeing one of those old school programs come back. So Tennessee definitely.
Okay, okay.
All right, so let's go to our very last topic. Steve Nash is no longer the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, man. Did the Nets make the right decision for this one?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
And it's no shot at Steve Nash. Understand that what I'm saying is not to take a shot at Steve Nash. It's really not. I just look at that team and they had to do something. They started off the season, I want to say 2-5 or 1-5, something of that nature. I think they did win
2 and
tonight.
5.
Yeah, I think they did win tonight. I'm not 100% sure because we're doing the show, but they were winning. But at the end of the day, man, that team, I hate to say it, it seemed like they didn't believe in their head coach. They didn't seem like they didn't believe in Steve Nash. And that's unfortunate. When you have a situation like that, that's not the way you want to go about it. You want to find somebody where y'all can all be on the same page. That's the championship pedigree. That's the championship chemistry that you need in order to win a championship. Everybody got to be on the same page. The good thing about the NBS brand, I know I'm kind of going and I'm comparing, you have to be on the same page for a team to win. And the reason why we're doing good is because we're kind of on the same page. But for the
Right.
most part, you have to be on the same page. That's what great teams do. When the Warriors were winning championships, because they were all on the same page. You need people that's on the same page. And for whatever reason, KD, Kyrie, they didn't buy into what Steve Nash was selling. And that's unfortunate for Steve Nash, but you're not going to give up on Kyrie and KD for Steve Nash. I'm sorry. You're just not going to do that. So I wish Steve Nash something but the best, but I'm not surprised that they did it. And I think that they should move on.
Um, I thought it was a bad idea to do it.
Wow.
This early in the season, um, to fire, which is good, which is bad also, but I wasn't a fan of this firing. I was surprised of this firing because and it's not people are like happy about the Steve Nash fire. Like, this makes Brooklyn better. I'm like, dude, it's not the coach, it's the damn player. You got freaking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Like Kevin Durant needs a great coach like a really great coach like that for him to win a title, even to go to the NBA Finals. You got one of the best players, and the other one, you got one of the best premier defenders on your team. It's like, dude, you really need that much, that help to win yourself a title. Like,
Oh,
I'm sorry to toot this guy's horn, but LeBron, man, look at the coaches he's
oh,
won titles with, man.
Tyrone Lue, that's a good coach.
I mean, he made Tyrone Lue look really good, though.
Eric Spoelstra is a good coach. Are you
Eric
kidding me?
Spoelstra, Eric Spoelstra was never elite like that when LeBron came around.
Oh my God.
Because you had Bosch, you had D Wade, you had you know, but then Eric Spoelstra started getting noticed as soon LeBron left. Like, hey, Spoelstra is a pretty good coach. Like, you had the Mike Brown days, David Blatt
And,
days.
and then win.
Um, who else you had there? You had Dan. Was Dan Tony with the Lakers when the Lakers won that title?
No, I mean,
Oh,
they
no,
had
no, it was Frank Vogel. Come on, bro. Like, really, man, you really need um I guess they want to get Udoka now because he took them to the promised land. I it's the player at the end of the day. It's not the coach, man. And Steve Nash was this his first team that he's ever coached in the NBA?
Yep.
Like, come on, man. Like, really? Like, I know they have, and with a coach like this first year, it's definitely a lot of pressure on you when it's your first year head coach, high profile name with high profile superstars in a market like the Brooklyn Nets, man. So, I just think it's a little bit too early to fire him, but. Yeah, I mean, who you gonna go replace him? You can't get Udoka because he's suspended for the damn year. I
Well,
know, I know,
they
I know.
gonna
They
get
said I know they could get him, but we're talking about now. Like, can you win the title now? People like the Brooklyn Nets to go to the NBA Finals or the Conference Finals. You got Kevin Durant, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Ben Simmons, and you got a good supporting cast. So can you do it, or are you gonna make excuses now that the coach is no longer there?
So who you would go get? I mean, Udoka, or you would go get Mark Jackson? Who would you go get?
Um, Anthony Hardaway.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! You know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. You're gonna be like XU Wilder because it's not gonna happen. But just hear me out. To everybody in the NBA, just hear me out what I gotta say. It's only bad because it's the middle of the season, not to the middle, but the beginning of the season, and he didn't have the time to actually put the work in this offseason with that team. But I would go get for this year, possibly next year, just to see if you're not gonna get Emi Udoka or Mark Jackson, Coach K. He's
Wow. Damn.
they're gonna support him. They're gonna support the move. You know, Kyrie loves him some Coach K. I just think Coach K, look, come out of retirement, 2 years with the Brooklyn Nets. See if you can win a championship with this team. You got Ben Simmons, you got KD, you got Kyrie Irving. TJ Warren should be coming through that door soon. I just look at this situation. I said to myself, hey, Coach K, if you ever wanted a chance in the NBA, this is your opportunity. You're not at Duke no more. Let's make it happen.
I think I mean it's a good chance, man, but I don't know. I don't see it, man.
It's all good.
But with that being said, man, let's wrap things up and go to our shout outs.
All good, man. Shout out to Keo, man. Shout out to the chat, Mike, Musa, Q, everybody that tunes in, subscribes to the brand. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. We almost at 1,100. That's super, super, super dope. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep sharing the content. We trying to get it up there, y'all. We got to 1,000. We trying to get to 5 next. 5K. 5K. Once we get to 5K, we trying to hit 10K. So just keep working with us, man. With that being said, your boy birthday is this weekend. I'm gonna turn up. LSU gonna turn up. Go Tigers. Y'all know the vibe. Shout out to Keo, man. We out, baby. Well, I'm out, baby.
Yo, shout out to X, man. Happy birthday to him. Or, I'll talk to him on Friday or something. But yeah, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all platforms, man. But with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. And this has been the NBS show.